Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello all, how are you? Today I'm going to teach you how to make a simple way of rendering in 3D Max with using a target camera for framing the target camera and rendering a different way using what's called Quicksilver hardware, something like that, and how to animate through the camera. So first of all, I'm just going to use a simple object, not a complicated one. I'll just make a simple object and then show you how to use the target camera and render it. First of all, I'm going to take a sphere. I'm going to place it here. And then I'm going to press W to move. It's a move tool. There is both ways. You can either click here or press on your keyboard W. These are for Windows. I don't know how to use the Mac computers, I'm sorry. So this one's only for Windows computers. So I'm going to fix it. I already fixed the place where I want to make it. Okay, so this is the sphere which I'm going to use it to make the render with it. So as you can see here, I have fixed the view, the sphere of how I want it. And then if you see here, there is orbit sub object. I press it. I'll use the perspective view. I press on how I want it. After I press the orbit view, I press Control C on my keyboard. So as you can see here, my target camera is on, and here you'll see the screen has changed. The view has changed from perspective to camera view. So now I want to fix the camera to make it only to show my target fully, not half or quarter of it. So I'm going to press W. And I'm going to press on any other screens to fix the camera of how it looks like. If you can see, if you notice or observe that I am fixing on the left view, but the camera view it's getting affected. So I'm going to fix it like that, and I'm gonna move the camera to okay. Sorry, L for shortcut to view the L view. Okay, and here I'm pressing Alt. Was it Alt? Sorry, it's not Alt. I'm going back to T for top. It was, yep, Control, and then the wheel on the mouse. I have a wheel on the mouse, so it shows like as if I'm pressing the pan view. So Control and the middle button of the mouse. Okay. So this one. I want to fix this one through here. Okay, so I have fixed of how I want it to look like. So I want to keep the first camera like that. Okay, so now we're going to do the animation. Here you see the auto key. First of all, if I want to change it to, for example, like 1000 frames, I go here, time configuration, and then here I just add a 0 and press OK. Finish. It's a 1000 frame ready, as you can see here on the timeline. And then I'm going to press set keys. The initial key has been done. Auto key. Now I'm going to play to change from each view. Like I'm taking 200. And then I'm using a shortcut in the keyboard, which is E. I have pressed E. W is for move tool, E is for rotate, and R is for resizing. So I have pressed E. So now I'm going to change, W, to only transfer how the camera will look like. So I have pressed the auto key. I have made the auto key. So now if I change the camera in the same frame, which I am now, if you'll see here, you'll see that it has already been marked. If you see on the timeline, there is a red mark. I have already marked it. So I'm going to change again to, for example, 400, or I'll say, yep, 400 is enough for me. And control middle. Okay. And now I'm gonna transfer it to, okay, I have changed the frame. And my last frame. Control middle button on the mouse. And by the way, I'm like, when I'm changing the frames, I'm checking on the camera that it shows the whole body, that it is correct of the way I want it to be. Here 700, I'm putting it. Now this will be the end of how it will look like. I'm changing the view because I want it to be looking the other side. For example, I want it to look like that. And on 1000 I want it to return back. And we'll put it on top. Yes. This is how I have made from 0 to 1000 frames. Now if I want to see it, I'll press here, play. Oops, sorry, I'll do this mistake. To view, I have to press the camera view. So when I play, as you have seen now, it was moving from the this view from the front view, because I was using the front view now and I forgot to change it to camera when I wanted to play. So now I'll press play again and you'll see through the camera view how it looks like on the camera. So this is the way of showing the animation. I have already done the animation of it. And now I'll show you how to render it. I'll show you the setup of the rendering, and when I start the rendering, I will fast play it to make, because the render, it will take a very long time depending on what materials I have used, on what not only the materials, also the way of designing the picture, the model, so that it will be, whenever I make it less, it will be faster, but also the material texture, depending which material texture I have used, and those things, it all depends on the rendering. So I'll show you how to make the render. Now I'm closing the auto key, because if I made any changes on the any of those 4 or 5, let's say 5 views, like I have top, front, left. This is the camera view. If I pressed P, it will transfer it to the perspective view, and I have the camera. If any one of them has been changed, it will affect the whole animation if I didn't press the Alt key. So now we're going for the render setup. Here is the render setup. I'll click active segments, which is the timeline. Here, any view I want, any size I want, I'll press 800 by 600, force two-sided, and here, assign render, I'll press Quicksilver Hardware Renderer. This is what we're going to use, as it is a bit more easier. Files, here in render output, I'll press where I want it to be. Like here, I'll go documents, I'll open, create my own work here. The format which I want, I'll choose AVI, save, okay. And I'm checking all. I haven't used the light. I'm using the normal lights which are available. I don't need to use the light, only if you're doing like your projects and this one, but I don't need lights. And then render. And when rendering, I have to make sure that I have pressed the camera view to make render. So now you're going to see here, it's counting the frames. 9 out of how many frames? Last frame, elapsed time. Time remaining 28 minutes. So I'm going to fast play for it, so that you can see the end of how it will look like. And if you can see here, it shows as if it is moving, but in a very slow way. So we're going to wait until when it's finishes. So I'll see you after 26 minutes, inshallah. Thank you. So now, as we have fast played I have cut the part of the render. So now the render is supposed to be finished, but I see that it has stopped, as if some problem has been done. Let me check on the file. I have kept the file ready. Okay, this is the file. So now we're going to check how it came. Let's hope it works out now. And yes, this is how the video is. As I have told you, here I didn't focus on the lights, because I was only showing about how the render is going to be. But what I usually do when rendering is that I'll move the camera into each part and single active and render it to see how it will look like when it transfers to this side or that side, like that. I'm going to show you what do I mean by it. I was just looking at how it looks like, but it's very slow. Let me check on the file. It's still not responding. Okay, close. Okay. Let's hope now that it won't stop. Yep. It's working for 16 seconds. but why does it stop here? No problem. So this is how the render is. It's not supposed to be stopping in the middle, but I don't know why. So now I'm going to show you what I meant by the lighting. So here, okay, I'm going to show you in this part. And here's the render setup. Single, time output will be single. Everything will be same except here the save file. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to make sure that the camera is activated. Any production I want. Is it scanline, NVDI, mental, view, quicksilver? I'm just going to keep it the same. Render. So you'll see how it looks here is one of the views. Now I'm going to transfer it to, like, for example, I want to see how it will look like on 300 frame. This is how it will look like. Okay. Let's see 500. So this is what I meant, to check that the light is working. The light is not that you won't find some places dark like what you have seen in what I have done now. So this is how to render using Quicksilver hardware renderer, and how to use the target light in a simple way, and how to animate the target, sorry, not target light, it's a target camera, and how to animate it to rotate around an object. Thank you.